just tuned in. I hope you haven't, because I must say I think this has been a very emotional broadcast in a way, because today being the 4th of December and tomorrow being a date none of us will really forget, the 5th of December, the day that Madiba left us, he passed away, and a sad occasion for South Africans. But, you know, when we look back at a life that has taught us so much and so much to celebrate in a life, and you can only really tell that when somebody passes away. And when you walk through the doors of the Nelson Mandela Foundation, where we're broadcasting from this morning, you see all of the messages and people putting on paper how they feel about Madiba and what he did for them, and just in general, just the emotions that were coming out over those times. And it is an absolutely amazing experience to be here. I urge you, if you can, come along and have a look. Now, what I'm standing next to, this is going to be quite a phenomenal conversation, because this is going to take you back to the day of the funeral. Now, this particular vehicle that you're looking at, it actually dates back to the 1940s, and it was specially modified for Madiba. It's owned by the South African National Defence Force. It's never going to ever be used again. And this is basically the gun carriage that was used to transport Nelson Mandela's body to its final resting place in Qunu on the 15th of December 2013. Now, the man that was in charge basically of absolutely everything that was going on at the time of the funeral and the events leading up to it is Chief Warrant Officer Jacques Niemand of the South African Army Artillery, Formation Sergeant Major. Thank you so much for being with us. It's an absolute pleasure having you on Morning Live.
Thank you.
Good. Let's talk about firstly the time when you heard about the passing. I imagine all the arrangements were in plan. It was just a matter of picking up the document and saying, right, let's put this into action now.
That's correct, yes. We planned it months in advance, and we then prepared everything, so we were ready in the eventuality that something will happen.
Yeah.
So the moment we were told that we must be ready, we contacted everybody that was involved, and then we were ready to move down to Qunu.
Okay. What was your involvement? I mean, if you can talk us through all of it, what was it that your particular division was in charge of?
We were in charge of the gun carriages. There were 3 of them that we prepared, 2 that went down to Qunu in the eventuality of one that might break down, one that was stationed in Pretoria for the rehearsals of the members in Pretoria, and then also the 2 ceremonial gun salute troops that fired the 21 round gun salutes. One came from Cape Town and the other one came from Potchefstroom.
Okay. Now, this particular gun carriage that we're looking at, I mean, here behind us was, this carried the coffin of our late president. This is where it was.
Yes, that's correct, yes.
Yeah. I mean, this particular vehicle, has it ever been used before?
Yes, the vehicle have been used before, and the gun carriage have been used before. So before the funeral, the gun carriage was modified to take the casket. And it was then revamped as well as the vehicle, so that we are ready to move down to Qunu.
Okay, but it's never going to be used again?
No, we've made a decision in the Defence Force not to use it again because of the value of the gun tractor and the gun carriage.
Yeah. Where is it currently being stored?
It is stored in Pretoria at one of our units in a safe store.
Okay, and perhaps maybe it'll be put in a museum, and I suppose maybe these are plans that we don't even know about that are happening.
Yeah, I don't know. We have stored it there, and we will wait for somebody to tell us what will happen to it. In the meantime, we keep it in safe storage.
You know, let's talk about I think the emotions that come with this. I mean, my opening question to you was, there was a document that sort of landed up and said, okay, guys, it's happening. We're doing it now. It's one thing working off a piece of paper and knowing that it's going to happen, but there's another thing trying to block out emotions because of the passing of Madiba. I mean, emotionally, what was it like for you?
Well, for me, it was quite stressful because we had a couple of challenges to make sure that nothing goes wrong. So we modified the platform where the casket must go on to make sure that it doesn't move around for the last bit of the route where he travelled from the church to the gravesite. We were also a bit worried because the vehicle that was used is late 1970, early 1980 manufactured, that the vehicle might break down on that incline. So we had all contingency plans in place beforehand. We rehearsed it in Pretoria, we rehearsed it at Qunu to make sure that nothing will go wrong. And luckily on the day nothing went wrong.
Nothing went wrong.
Yeah.
Who actually drove this specific vehicle?
Warrant Officer one of my sergeant majors in my formation. So he was tasked from the beginning, and then he prepared the vehicle, the carriage, and he did all the rehearsals to make sure that nothing will go wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a professional thing to do, and I suppose you're meant to block out all emotions, but did you speak to him afterwards? How did he feel? Was it a very emotional time for him, or did he sort of block that out and say, no, forget about that, let's just do what I'm here to do?
Well, he said he lost 20 kgs sweating because he was worried that something might go wrong, and the whole world's eyes were on him in the vehicle. So afterwards he said everything just went when he realized it is over and nothing went wrong.
Yeah, and nothing went wrong, and he realizes the magnitude of what had just happened and who he had just transported and the amount of eyes that were watching, because it really is. I mean, that was a moment that it's etched in history forever.
Yeah, it will be in history forever, and he can say he was the member that took Madiba to his last resting place. Yeah.
Is there anything that we as unsuspecting individuals that would never have known that actually went wrong behind the scenes, that we would never have known, that in our wildest dreams you guys were trying so hard to rectify it before the time, and it all went smoothly? Or did it kind of all just fall into place?
Well, when they did the rehearsals in Pretoria, they realized that the casket is too big to fit on the platform. We were already down in Qunu, so my general then arranged for modifications, which was flown down to Mthatha Airport. We then picked up the equipment that we needed to do the modifications, and the Saturday evening before the funeral, the Sunday, me and Sergeant Major Dupree made the adjustments to make sure that the coffin will fit.
Wow.
We only realized the size of the coffin on the Sunday morning. We never seen the coffin or the casket before.
Oh my goodness.
But luckily everything fitted, and they made sure that all the measurements were done properly in Pretoria, then to send it down to us, and then we had to modify the platform of the gun carriage.
Well, there's a story. There's a story to tell people for times to come. This carriage was modified to fit the size of the coffin because it was originally too small. So the night before, you quickly had to modify it so that it could fit it.
Yes, we had to, and luckily nothing went wrong. Yeah, and it fitted.
Goodness me. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for doing the unbelievable job that you did. Like I said to you, we were all none the wiser. So the work that was going on behind the scenes, us as South Africans in the world, no clue. But I think he got the respectful send-off that he so rightly deserved. Chief Warrant Officer Jacques Niemand, SA Army Artillery at the SANDF, thank you very much for joining us.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.
All right. Let's go back to the Johannesburg studio. How's that for a story? I know it's a story you're going to tell your colleagues at work, aren't you? Yeah, indeed. All right, Valen, let's get some sport.